Hey there, listeners, and welcome to Film Jot Reviews Good Boys. Written and directed by first time director Gene Stupinski with co writer Lee Eisenberg. Both men have worked and written on Bad Teacher, Year One, and a few of The Office US episodes. This movie follows three sixth grade boys, Max, Lucas, and Thor, who call themselves the Beanbag Boys. Their long journey revolves around replacing a broken drone and preparing for a night with the cool kids at a kissing party. I want to start with my gripe against the promotional team at Universal. I believe that a movie trailer should give the audience an idea of the base story, a touch of character introduction, general tone of the film, and a few highlight moments. The audience should have a rough idea of what they're going to watch, but still left in mystery so that they can watch the film develop right before their eyes. The trailers for this movie did most of that, but then overplayed their hand by showing most of the highlights and story thread of the film. I knew from beginning to end what was going on and what was to come, and had already laughed at most of the better jokes within this film. I didn't get to experience this movie because I felt like I already knew it. And that's not the movie's fault, but the lack of trust from a studio. Since I'm on the topic of trailers, let me roll out into saying that this film promotes itself as a tween film where the main joke lies within the fact that you're watching kids curse, talk about drugs, and innocently use adult items. And personally, that's all I saw this film to be. The film doesn't bring much more to itself than the idea of corrupting innocence. And for a percentage of moviegoers, that's all they need. This film aligns itself with a cheap, quick comedy such as Superbad or a lesser South Park. And I don't want to sound like I'm hating on people or comedies such as these. I dive into this genre of entertainment from time to time, but I don't think the film brought enough to the table or found a way to set itself aside from others to be memorable. I think this film will ultimately fall through the cracks and be forgotten by most before this year ends. At this point, I think the only way to stand out in this genre is to, one, reconstruct itself for a newer audience, and two, start pushing deeper, thought out characters and chemistry into these films. A good recent example would be like Booksmart, which came out earlier this year. It hit stores on September 3rd, and my review for it should be listed somewhere below. Hashtag not sponsored unless you want to be. Honestly, the story and characters are very black and white, and doesn't subvert any expectations. I will commend them for trying to add a deeper level of existential thought as to why do kids really become friends and what outside factors aid them but also pull them apart. It was an interesting question that gets brought up, but it comes in so late into the game and half-cocked that it's easily forgettable compared to what the movie and trailers want you to remember. A few notable pros that I want to bring up are, although I thought the characters were cut and dry, they still embodied relatable people. I used to tutor kids for a while, and I feel like I've met all three of these kids before. They are a decent representation of some of the young folks you'll meet within that age group. Amongst the boys, Jacob Tremblay, who plays Max, brings another notable performance in this film. He's still a young actor, but definitely hit a few people's radar with his performance in 2015's Room, which is a great film, still on Netflix if you haven't seen it, followed by Before I Wake and Wonder. Say what you want about any movie he's in, but you can't deny that he's good for his age. Overall, Good Boys is a film like many others that have come before it, and it won't be the last. It's not particularly bad. It definitely only has a small corner of audience members that enjoy the genre, and so won't appeal to most, but to the folks who like this raunchy style of humor, this movie will definitely play up your alley. It's a perfect 90-minute cut of this comedic genre that we've come to know. Again, I can't recommend this movie to most of you, but I won't rebuttal against anyone who is interested. I can maybe persuade you to probably wait to watch it at the comforts of your own home, but that's about it. Oh, and this movie is rated R, so for the love of dog, please don't bring your 6 to 7 year olds to watch this movie. Not unless you're comfortable with explaining a lot of weird things to them after the fact. Anyways, there we have it, Good Boys. Make sure to let me know what you thought of the film over on Twitter at FilmJot or Instagram at film_jot. Thanks again to anyone for listening, and until next time, this is FilmJot. Stay friendly, you guys.